well, several different things happened, but the main thing that happened is that a celebration ensued at the death of Kevin Samuels, and here's Hortensia Alcantara.
God damn.
I'm assuming you approve, cuz there you go.
Look a little young.
Oh, could y'all hear me? Y'all heard me?
We heard everything you said there, sir. We heard everything you said.
She looks a little young, man.
She was young. I think she was much younger.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
That's my point. See, that's how you don't get hurt.
That was well played out. Well played. So a couple of things ensued. Number one,
she looked kind of. How old was she? Put her back up.
I don't know how old she is. Somebody want to find that out? Feel free. She does look very young. According to sources, she is a nurse, so that's why she kind of knew what to try to do to help him.
She's a nurse, and she kind of knew.
Well, I don't. Well, obviously, she couldn't save him. I mean, she didn't.
Did she kill him?
I kill him. Well, okay, so that was also trending. Well, no, that was actually trending on social media. That she was one of the reasons why he's not here. You know,
she was young, and he was old. See, that's why
maybe, but that's completely unconfirmed. We don't know.
That's why at my age, I don't believe in all that sex, all that little rough sex, and just going and going.
Nobody said it was rough sex. Nobody said any of that. It's just
I need somebody to know how to get where they're going, so we can hurry up and finish this shit before I.
Well, see, it's people like you that made her release this Instagram statement. She said, "It's crazy how complete strangers try to hurt your character. Believe it or not, there's still good-hearted people in this cruel world. Unbelievable to think I have to clear my name for doing the right thing. Let me find a lawyer and make these people take all this mess down. I'm a humble 6-figure woman from the Midwest. No need for a one-night stand. My family and close friends know I'm a good person, but people are evil. But I'm still sending y'all love."
That's
how old is he?
He's 57. She was 32, and
32.
That kind of contradicts. Well, possibly contradicts. What situation were they involved in? Because she, on the 911 call, stated that it was her first time at his apartment, and she didn't know the address. So if y'all bumping uglies and it's your first time at his apartment.
Who he talking about? James Brown?
No, he's talking about Tim. So that was the other thing that emerged on social media. There was a very mixed reaction to his death. Half of the people were like, "Oh man, rest in peace," like Tim is saying to the Godfather, to one of the GOATs. He was keeping it real for the black men and the black community. He was one of the GOATs, and and they really are sorry to see him go. Then there's another side where they were basically pissing on his grave. They were the vitriol that has come out. I mean, there are some women out there that are like good riddance to bad trash. It is. Woof.
He is the epitome of polarizing.
Yes.
You either loved him or you hated him.
Yeah, there's not a lot of middle ground here.
You didn't know it.
Right.
Right.
There was a female on my timeline. It's kind of ironic, but hey, single mother of 2, 39 years old, 2 kids, 2 different daddies, and by Kevin Samuels' own definition, she would be used up leftovers.
Yeah.
Any single woman over the age of 35 is leftovers. Those words out of his mouth. So, but she loved him. She defended him. She stood behind everything he said about beta males. She was an advocate for, everything he stood by.
And listen, the man had 1.4 million followers, so people were listening, whether you hated him or loved him.
Yep.
They were listening, and he did some serious numbers, like on a weekly basis. So I don't know what to. For me, he is who he is. I get the whole thing because listen. He came to prominence in the pandemic. People started rocking with him and was like, "Oh man, you know, Kevin saying he keeps it real, blah 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 blah, whatever." And I get the stick. I get it. You know, he figured out the game. He figured out how to manipulate that algorithm on YouTube, and it worked for him. You say inflammatory stuff, people hate you and love you, and guess what? They watch
it. They tune in every episode.
So to me, that was one of not arguments, but disagreements that me and Mama Noise had about him the whole time. Because the women that he would just eviscerate, I mean, he would just tear them to shreds. They called him. They called the show to get his advice, and you get what you get. I mean, I don't know. There was
what you get. You pay for what you get. You pay for low minimum wage people. You're gonna get minimum wage work. Pay for what you get.
Now there is a rumor that he has died penniless, and that they have a GoFundMe.
He couldn't have been penniless.
I find that one hard to believe as well.
Them chests that was in that room with him when he died, them wasn't no penniless chests.
Those are six figures.
Well, I'll say this. What is more likely to be true in that regard is not that he was penniless, but that they don't have access to the money right now or a reconciliation to his estate. So they may not have the money to bury him, his mom and his family. So that might be, and that's media takeout that's saying that he's deeply in debt and all that stuff.
You say 1.4 million followers. And that's on YouTube, right?
Right.
So he's getting paid. He's making a decent amount of money just off of the viewership that he's getting off of that.
He should be, but the challenge of that is that, again, when you die, people don't just, unless it's in a will somewhere that they can access, you don't just automatically get that money.
Right. So if he doesn't have a will, then the people's gonna get it next to this.
Exactly. So
they're gotta go through probate and da 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 da.
Right.
Exactly. So it's a process. So what's probably more likely is that they are trying to sort out his estate, and they just don't have the immediate money to make.
But the worst part of the whole
work.
The worst part of the whole story is, why even report anything if you don't freaking know? Why would you say he's penniless if you don't freaking know? That's just more controversy.
Well, because people are messy. Let's just call it
sales, bro. Controversy sales.
Yeah, I know controversy. There's more money in
well, his whole career has been controversy, though, Ron. His whole career has been that.
His whole career's been like it.
Yeah. What you gonna say, cuz?
Let me ask these dumbass questions.
Did you say dumbasses questions or a dumbass question?
Let me ask these dumbass questions.
Okay.
There you go.
Thought you was calling Ron a dumbass. I'm sorry.
Because that's your co-pass, and that'd be rude.
So, I cuss back, so.
So would you guys, or are you guys offended that the word on the street could possibly be that he was broke? Is that
Say it again?
Is that offensive to you guys that the word on the street is that he was broke, penniless? Is that offensive? Black man didn't take care of his finances and he broke. Talked all that shit, had all that possibility, and didn't manage it properly, and he broke.
It wouldn't be offensive, but it damn sure be hypocritical.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it wouldn't be offensive to me at all.
Not at all. I wouldn't.
I mean, because he's told brothers, if you can't take care of yourself, you ain't got no business dating no woman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I didn't know, what's his name, Tim?
Kevin? Oh,
Kevin?
Tim Hinkle.
Samuel?
No, he's talking about Tim Hinkle.
I'm trying.
In the chat.
Mama Noise looked nice today, by the way. I don't know if it was those videos you was watching yesterday or the dinner, but you looked nice today.
Are you talking about the
All of the above.
Are you talking about the person in which we speak of? Or?
The man that was that's dead.
Okay,
Kevin Samuels.
I didn't know him.
Right.
But I hear from you guys talking, and from what I read on social media, that he was a complete asshole to Black women.
He was definitely the opposite of the defender of the earth, for sure.
So am I to understand that this Negro, as a man, thought it was okay to belittle Black women?
Yeah, well, hold on. I'm trying to be fair. I'm just trying to be fair. Not all Black women. Black women over 35.
Stop right there. So you telling me it's okay to offend some Black women?
I'm not saying that. No, that's not what I said. You asked the question, Ninja. I'm trying to answer it. He offended. He for sure was offensive to Black women who A, were over 35, B, who had children, C, who were 35 and had children, and didn't and indeed didn't deem were worthy of what he called high value men.
Okay,
Now,
there
you go.
Do you believe, Mr. Noise, help me out, because y'all know I'm slow.
Yeah.
Al B, come on, help me out. Do you believe others outside of our race sat there and analyzed whether or not he was talking about the few or all? When you put out there on the internet in public conversation,
Yeah,
that woman, you ain't worth nothing. You ain't got no value. You think those that think less of us already are going to analyze whether or not this man is speaking general truth, or is he just talking about that specific woman?
the answer to that is
he was reckless. I didn't know the guy. I didn't know him. He was reckless in his conversations about Black women.
oh, there's no question.
I consider that an abomination. You an asshole.
And that is the general thought of most people. Like you're not alone in your thinking. I think I mentioned that on Thursday that I think that he was an asshole.
Bitch, who you think you are that you can categorize somebody as less than?
Oh, that was the whole shtick, though. He dressed.
Damn you and your stick.
Here's what was ironic about the whole presentation.
I'm sorry, Mama Noise. I'm turning my mic off.
No. Listen, we listen. Please, let's not act like we didn't know that the defender of the earth was going to come and defend. The irony of the whole thing to me was that he would always do his show from his apartment.
Subleased apartment.
His subleased apartment. So, he would talk about high value men and this, that, and the other. And yes, Tim, he would definitely go at the men and the women, but it was far more women taking that vitriol.
Well, that's because that's who was calling in.
Right.
So
yeah.
And again, it goes back to what we said earlier. So he only got popular because you kept calling. You knew what he was going to say. You knew what he was going to do. Why would you keep calling? What you thought? You thought he was going to change? People.
Well, he did. I'll say this again to keep the argument somewhat balanced. He didn't do that to everyone. If you are an attractive Black woman, you got his blessing.
But again, you picked the phone up.
Or attracted to him, I'll say it that way.
You picked the phone up. You knew you had a 50-50 chance.
You definitely had a 50-50 chance
of what you was going to get.
You say we knew who he was, and it wasn't like he was going to change, but he did change because I'm friends with some of the people that he went to college with there in Oklahoma.
Ah, okay.
And they said that Kappa changed after he left Norman, Oklahoma, and went to Atlanta. That he was not that way. He was the nicest guy on campus. He was always a best dressed guy. He was always a well-groomed guy. But he was a nice guy to everybody.
Doesn't mean that he wasn't already an asshole. He was just hiding it.
Well, maybe what happened.
Somebody broke his heart.
I was gonna say maybe what happened. He went to Atlanta, and them sisters in Atlanta wasn't feeling that shit he was running in Oklahoma. I mean, that's being real. Maybe in Oklahoma he could get away with some of the things he was saying, and in Atlanta it was like, brother, get out of here with all.
I mean, but you bring up his picture. He's a nice looking brother.
I mean, Mama Noise, would you agree with that? He's a handsome guy.
We can all observe. We ain't got to be gay to say somebody's a nice looking brother. He's a decent looking guy, right, Mama Noise?
But again, what does the looks have to do with it? He talked to people the way he talked to them, and they kept listening to it.
I mean, but I'm saying the game that he ran in Atlanta, you guys were saying that women weren't putting up with it. I don't know about that.
Well, I don't know. Listen, we don't listen. We're just surmising all of it. We don't know.
They got a heterosexual male shortage in Atlanta. They take anything.
Well, I'll be honest. Well, I'll be honest with you. I the whole time, if I'm being completely transparent, I felt like he may have been suspect himself until the picture started coming out. Like, well, because if you watch him and watch the way he carries himself, it was like
he was metrosexual.
He was very metrosexual.
Well, again, we say he didn't change. Money changes everybody. He knew where his money was. He knew what buttered his bread. He knew what he had to say to keep his followers where he needed and keep his money coming in.
So he was no different than Clarence Thomas selling out black people.
Ooh.
I don't even know if it's as much as that. I think he's no different than Gilbert Gottfried or it was one of them. He found his stick and he stuck to it.
Can I give you maybe a more accurate comparison? He's the male Wendy Williams. I'm gonna say the most salacious, off the cuff, unbelievable things, and you're going to be so offended by it that you'll never be able to take your eyes off me.
And let me tell you something about that stick part you're talking, LB. I couldn't disagree with you more. Whenever you allow yourself to be embraced by others, whether that's they want to be around you or it's money, it's a money thing, it's a power thing, it's a popularity thing. Whenever you allow yourself to succumb to that and you put down your own people, you destroy your own because all you care about is yourself. That's what a lot of the black Republicans are doing right now.
But that's just
they are being embraced. They are being embraced by white America. White America has more power, more money. So therefore they say, you know what? The rest of the blacks need to get with it. They need to come over on their side too because it's nice over here.
So it's not so much that you disagree with me. You think it's absolutely horrible and wrong.
Yeah, I don't think
it happens.
Say what now, Albie?
I said it's not so much that you disagree with me, because we're saying it happens, right?
Okay.
So we both agree that it's horribly wrong. It's self-destructive for us as a society, us as a community. So
it glorifies yourself. Whether your stick allows you to have a foothold in your community or on a national level or the state level, whatever your stick allows you to be embraced by the masses that you believe that's so important, if you're willing to put down your own people, you ain't worth a plucked nickel to me. Now that's just me.
But can I throw something out that makes this whole thing even more kind of shocking? If what they say about him being broke is true, then really what was the purpose? Because if the goal was to get money,
you don't necessarily have to have money to live a good lifestyle if you're around the right people. You can fake it a long time if you have the right connections.
Oh yeah.
Hell, I faked it yesterday.
As long as he knows how to manage.
I don't know. Are we still talking about the same thing, or are we talking about something? Because I feel like you went off a different direction in that last.
What you talking about?
I'm just trying to understand where you were.
Boy, don't take
that too is a shiny lure. Don't chase it.
No. I'm saying if you're around the right people, you can appear to have money, even though.
Oh, gotcha. That one was safe, guys. That one was safe. We're fine.
I ate at a restaurant yesterday for Mother's Day for the mothers. There were menu items. $200-$300 for an item. That was $1,000 item. For real, item. And it was a la carte. So it didn't include no side.
Okay.
Well, you sitting up in there, everybody would believe you got money.
That's true. Because normally you wouldn't be there if you didn't.
Right. I faked it.
Okay.
We trying to figure out where the hell you faked it at. You knew what you was getting into when your ass got to that restaurant.
He's doing what he got to do.
It's not like you was washing dishes. What like you washing dishes after you ate?
I was around the right people.
There you go.
That's my point.
There you go. Okay. Well, listen, it's a sad story with an even sadder ending. It may end up being even sadder than we initially thought it was, because if he died penniless, then you got to ask yourself, well, what was the whole purpose if you was trying to make money for your family and your children? And that didn't work. So what was the whole purpose of doing any of it except to live a life of destruction and selfishness? But
and if he died wealthy, what was the point of it? You still put down your own black women
to get there. Yeah, it's not a way that I want to make money.
Huh?
It's not a way that I would want to make money.
You know, I don't understand about this, that I hear all the men co-signing that, you know, the women called in, so that made them subject to whatever happens. But, you know, it's just like here on this show. There are times when our noisemakers come in the chat and they may put something in the chat like, you know, I have the attention of some incredible black men, and I'd like to put this as a question or pose this question or whatever to the panel. And so he had an opportunity to speak into the lives of so many women, and the very thing he did was talk vitriol and poison to them, to the point where the one you listened to today, Lloyd, no matter what she said, she like, well, it sounded like she like, I'm trying. You like, you ain't like, basically you ain't got no value. You got kids, you over this age, you ain't got no value. And it's like, you know, I guess the part that really tears me up about it is that just the other day, the young lady, she committed suicide. I'm just saying, not connected to this, but I'm just saying. And you're like, man, you got enough stuff to deal with in this world than to listen to a man who has an opportunity to have a platform to speak into the lives of our people. And instead, he wants to give them more than what they already got to deal with. And now they say, you ain't worth nothing. You ain't got no value. You can't expect to have no top 10 man and all this stuff because you got kids. Okay, so now you got kids. It's those type of things that when you drop that in somebody's mindset, where on the news, the woman, here recently in the news, there was a man trying to put his kids in a car, dousing them with gasoline, trying to set the car on fire. Why? Because, you know, hey, I'm sure that I'm not a top 10 man with kids. So let me get rid of the kids. There are times when the women be trying to get rid of kids because they feel like, oh, well, let me get rid of these kids so then I can be valuable, because the man ain't gonna look at me and give me an opportunity because I got kids. And all this because you keep getting this same poison put in, like nobody's gonna want you because you got kids. Nobody's gonna want you because you're a certain age. Nobody's gonna want you. You know, you don't have the option like younger women do. And it's like, to me, I just can't believe it at any point. I get it. He said a handful of things that a couple of guys was like, yeah, he right about that. But then other than that, what about all the rest of it? How do we write off all the rest of it just because he said a few good points?
That statement you just made, Mama Noise, should remind you of what Republicans are doing with Donald Trump. Just because he said a few good things that they may agree with as a platform. But all the other toxic, nasty vitriol shit that he has said, you ignore that because you only care about those one or two things. And we generally put those people down. But yet here we are doing it with this asshole.
But where does personal responsibility come in for the people who call?
Listen, Ron, I agree with that question. But when you are a single woman out here in these streets and you're trying, you're reaching for somebody to say something to you, to prove to you, because you already think bad of your damn self. You would have to think negative of yourself to call into that show.
Yeah.
You can't be very positive on self.
So again, it goes back to you're feeling bad for yourself. It's 2021, 2022. You know what his show is about. You know what you're going to hear. Why subject yourself to hearing that BS that you know you're going to hear? Because
just like the woman that believes my poo-poo is the one that's gonna turn him around. Maybe my situation ain't so bad that he gonna say something nice to me. He gonna say that I'm a good one. Because I'm gonna explain to him in such a way that he's not gonna put me down. There is no difference. By the way, Ron, does your screen say keep fucking?
Oh.
Keep my fucking wife's name out your mouth.
Without the mind.
Tim Eagle says you need to watch the show.
Okay. Because there's some chicks that come on there and yeah, they do think they the shit.
I want all women to think they the shit.
I do too.
Yeah, most of us are very good at faking it externally, but we don't believe it inside.
Like Lizzo.
We dress like it, we walk like it, we talk like it, but we don't really believe it. On the
I would desire that every black woman have the confidence of a Lizzo. Regardless what the world or society sees you as, your flaws, whatever. Your confidence is exactly that. You're confident.
I don't disagree with you, Al. My only concern is when you allow your confidence to
cloud your judgment,
dilute you from your real reality. And here's an example of what I mean.
We're good at that.
Here's an example of what I mean right here. Now, I'm not sure why the brother decided to ask her to marry him at the McDonald's in the mall. I don't know why he chose that specific moment. But clearly they are a McDonald's couple.
He felt it in his spirit.
He felt it in his spirit in that moment. This is the moment. I'm going for it right now. And she world starred him. and walked away.
Sad.
Now, I've watched that video several times now. I really don't know what to think about. Because I'll stall her out on the location. I personally wouldn't have chosen the McDonald's line in front of all those people that I don't even know. But okay, this is where he chose to do it. Now, maybe that's why she was pissed. Maybe she was thinking, this is the best you can do. You can't do nothing more romantic than a McDonald's line in the middle of the day.
But it could have been sentimental. Something they might have met at the mall,
and maybe that right. It's there's a lot of background left out of that moment, so it's hard to know why he chose that moment.
And see, when this article caught my attention, it wasn't so much the story itself that made me ponder. It was actual comments, and similar to what you're saying, McDonald's shouldn't have been the place. And so I immediately thought, if you love somebody, what difference does the place make?
Right.
And therein lies the challenge, Al, that I'm struggling with. Because do we love somebody, or do we love the idea of being loved?
So they give
I would hope that she just was not feeling him the way he was feeling her. I certainly hope that her choice to turn down his proposal had nothing to do with the location. Because if it, in my opinion, if it was based on the location, then she's got life all effed up.
Mama Noise, you was gonna say something. Go ahead, jump in. Where'd you go? Are you all right? Are you around? Are you close by? Okay, she stepped away for a second. I agree with you, Al. Does she deserve maybe a more romantic setting? Yes, I guess. I mean, again, there's a lot of context left out of this moment. I don't know if because maybe they met at a McDonald's. And maybe he was like, I'm going to take it back to where we first met, back to these shakes and double cheeseburgers, And he just said, I'm going to take, I don't know. There's got to be a real reason why he chose that location.
I don't think it has to be. Why can't it be that he's been mulling over that decision for weeks? He's been carrying that ring around, and something in his spirit said, man, stop putting it off. Just do it.
She did something while walking to McDonald's. I mean, something just came over him where he just said, hey, let's do this.
Let's just do it now. Mama knows you're going to say something. What was you going to say?
Just a couple of days ago, maybe it was a week ago, there was a Wahite couple that I believe they was celebrating I'm not sure if it was the engagement or celebrating their anniversary in the White Castle, in the I'm thinking White Castle, in the McDonald's. And I was like, people do it all the time. They want to be a spectacle somewhere, and they want the attention. But I'm tripping, because if that's where he wanted to do it, they had a whole basket full of McDonald's. Clearly, they frequent there enough. They had about 5 or 6 bags of McDonald's sitting on top of the shopping cart. And she done, they just purchased. If he felt inspired at that moment, why are you tripping? It wasn't good enough. You felt like you need something that's much larger and with all your family and all your friends and stuff. I think we done spoiled people.
But now, to be fair, and I know Cuz was itching at this one, so I can't wait to hear what he got to say about this. To be fair, women do want memorable proposals. Most women want a memorable proposal.
I would think more women want a good man to love them, be faithful to them, cherish them, honor them, and the location in which they decide to request their hand in marriage. I don't think is high on the priority list. Not on a real woman. On a superficial woman, maybe.
But your assumption is that there are more real women out there than superficial, and maybe that may not be true. I mean, it may be more that just want
my assumption is there are more superficial women.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying there are a lot of women who want the pomp and circumstance, and they'll go in debt for the wedding. Damn the marriage. The marriage will just work out to wherever way it works out. But the wedding, I want the party and the pomp and the circumstances and the pageantry and the whole nine. And they'll go $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $100,000 in debt for that day.
So, like you asked the question earlier, are you getting married because you're in love, or are you getting married for the show?
All right, cuz we really let her rip.
I have nothing to add to that. Why you say cuz let it rip? I mean,
I know you, man. I know you. I know.
I agree with all of you guys. Honestly, I believe. Here's what I believe the scenario was.
Okay.
I could be wrong as fold up shoes, but
she is wrong. Is that what you said?
I said I could be wrong as fold up.
Okay, you could be wrong. Gotcha.
But I believe the scenario was they both worked at Walmart. Because that McDonald's was at Walmart.
Was that a Walmart?
That was a Walmart basket.
Okay.
Well,
you know what? It probably was because of the blue cart. You're right.
Put things in perspective. This is in South Africa. They were a South African couple.
Okay, but they were at the store because they had groceries in the basket or whatever they had in the basket there. So I think it was a sentimental thing because they probably did lunch at McDonald's every day. So I think it was a sentimental thing. For whatever reason, a woman would treat a man the way she treated him. I don't get that. I don't understand that.
No.
But I do know if you love that woman, and I saw Tim's comments, God bless his heart. If you love that woman, you don't stop chasing that woman because of that.
Wait. Hold on. Wait.
You go for the woman that you want.
Hold on.
Now, listen. A lot of the dysfunction that you just talked about, Mr. Noiz, and you were correct. A lot of women out there want the pomp and circumstance more than the wedding, more than the actual marriage.
Right.
That's because that's what they've been taught.
Right.
They've never seen successful marriages, but they've seen beautiful ass weddings.
All those TV shows of all these celebrities that we should be looking at and admiring and seeing how these beautiful weddings and being together forever, all that bullshit.
They all get a divorce after 5 years if they
exactly.
Yeah, so they go for the wedding. The wedding day is gonna make me feel special. I'm not sure how this marriage is gonna work out.
But Lloyd, don't you got a penalty emoji, throwing a flag emoji? Did you get one of those?
They've never been taught.
I do not.
They've never been taught. Listen, we are products of our environment. We as a black people, we love a good party. But are we willing to do the work after the party to clean that motherfucker up? Are we willing to do the work in order to build something after?
Damn.
Are we willing to do the work?
Okay, so
we ready to party now.
But now, let's not skip over the lead of what you said.
I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna shut up.
You're not gonna shut up.
Mississippi. I'm from Jackson, Mississippi. I went back home to Jackson, Mississippi, a few years back, and one of the biggest celebrations they have now is St. Patrick's Day. You black ass Negroes are celebrating St. Patrick's Day because of what? It's a party. It's a party. It's a party in the streets.
Right.
So we would do anything. We don't care about how it looks or what it's going to be like. All we want to do is party.
Okay, but that ain't the line that I'm that I'm focusing on, and neither is anybody else in these boxes. I can promise you. Did I hear you say, despite what happened in this proposal, he should go back and try to make it work?
Listen, ninjas.
We ain't gonna be a ninja today.
Is that what you said?
I don't know where you guys are from. Maybe y'all should just click, clack, clack, and lined up for y'all. But I had to fight for what I wanted. I've had to fight for what I wanted. So
listen, Sophie. Listen, Sophie, that's good for you, Color Purple. But I'm saying
that's what I'm saying.
I'm trying to.
We need more men like. I mean, you just gonna say, well, okay then. Damn you, really?
So I want to make sure I hear you correctly.
You never loved her. You never loved her. You might have loved how she made you feel, but you never loved her.
But then that means she never loved him.
I'm trying to understand how you arrived at this place.
Listen now. Listen.
I'm not gonna change that to somebody who don't love me.
I understand what you're saying when you say that, bro. But there was a time in my life. This is a true story. I'm gonna go and tell it.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Before you start, is this a true story or not?
You know, I'm gonna forget it. I got to get it out. This is a true story.
Right.
When I was in the ICYMI, I might have told this story on here before, but I'm gonna tell it again because it fits. If it don't fit, you must quit. But anyway, my wife was extremely liberal in her thinking, and I was extremely conservative in my thinking. I mean, I was from Mississippi. I was raised Baptist. We was in the church, straight and narrow. We couldn't look left. We couldn't look right. We were straight and narrow. And I believed in that. But I met my wife at a very young age, and she was a liberal. And she told me one day in our regular conversation, we might have just had sex not too long before. Okay. But she told me, and she said, I think it's okay for gay people to be in the army.
They can should have done like everybody else.
Damn, you put it down that week. She thought you was gay.
Let me tell you something.
Oh,
let me tell you.
What the hell?
Oh, that was a level 2, not a level 1.
Level 2.
What the hell?
Damn, you make love to a woman and they come back and say it's okay to be gay.
You know, in the ICYMI.
That was a bridge too far.
That escalated quickly. I go.
A conservative-minded army guy. And listen, the God honest truth is, I broke up with her at that moment. I told her, it's over. We have nothing in common. That's it. I'm done. And I left her there.
Okay.
And you went back.
She called me the next day. She said, really? She could have easily said, bump that Negro.
Did she say really or nigga? Just be honest.
I mean, you know.
Okay, all right. Because really don't sound like something Jamaican would say.
You gonna break up with me because I had a thought about something? My point is, if you love somebody, you.
Because I respect. First of all,
two different
there's a
situations.
Everybody got to figure y'all.
There is a difference between having a difference of opinion, being conservative, being liberal. There's a difference between being completely emasculated.
But I broke up with her.
But that's not that story.
That was a big deal. That was a big deal.
Let me just tell you something.
That was a big deal.
Let me tell you something. What that woman did to that man just now is completely different than what you did. It's completely different. It's not even in the same ballpark.
It's a different.
No. We listen to your black ass hush. This is what I'm going to say. How in the ever loving hell do you compare what you did to this woman who is supposed to be in a relationship with this man, and he has gone out, took the time to go to a store, get her ring size, purchased a ring to declare his love for this woman, and then stood in the place where they worked together and flipped burgers and salted fries together, and then only to be embarrassed by her. That is big. I agree with Tim. That is big simp energy, and I am not here for it. Go ahead, Al.
No, I was going to say not necessarily at the ring size, but we said, or at least I said this a couple of weeks back. We were having just a general conversation about men being rejected at the altar, and I said that it should never happen. Remember, not being rejected at the altar, but their proposal being rejected.
Right.
Because I said going in, you should have some sort of litmus test already of what the response is going to be.
You should, yes.
There should be no reason why the love you have for somebody, you don't feel that it's reciprocated. And if they that good of an actress or an actor, man, but you should know, you should have.
Well, it may be reciprocated. You are correct in saying that, but that doesn't mean that fear is still not, because every marriage I've ever seen was destructive, was horrible.
Right.
So I'm actually scared of marriage.
But don't you already know that? Don't you know that this person has reservations about getting married?
And that didn't look like a response of fear. That looked like a response of disappointment. Like, I'm not getting what I want in this moment.
Hold on. Let's keep it real. Her face looked like, no, you know you're not the only one.
Well, okay, I didn't read that.
That ain't the look I got.
That's the face I got. She leaned into old girls like, you believe he doing this?
She leaned in, so talking to somebody and leaned back.
Yeah, I think it was more of, I can't believe you're doing this here at this McDonald's.
She actually said that. If you read her lips, what you just said, she actually said. She spoke those words.
And I think she was offended by the location. And to me, while I don't approve of her being offended by the location, because I gotta believe, because first of all, if you're offended by it, you need to hear him out, because there's a reason why he did it. He didn't just randomly pick McDonald's. He know that's McDonald's. He ain't stupid. He know that's McDonald's. So there's a reason why he chose McDonald's. And maybe the romance and the pomp and circumstance that you're looking for is in the reason why he chose this location. But to not even hear him out, to walk away, to be like, I don't want to hear it. I can't believe you did. I'm walking away from you forever. Or whatever that walk away was for, that's where I have a problem with. That's why I can't really rock it.
It could be a walk away because she's already told him, you know what? I love you, but I don't want to get married.
Well, then let's move on.
That could be it too.
Could be.
I'm going to be transparent. I proposed to my ex-wife at fifth quarter. I didn't plan a date to fifth quarter for the purpose of proposing.
Are you supposed to let the listening audience know what that is?
No, they got Google. They know how to use it, unlike you.
4 out of the 5 people on this broadcast knew what that was, and everyone from Louisville. So it's a restaurant. It's a steak restaurant.
It's a step above O'Charlie's, Applebee's, whatever. It's nothing. Well, at the time in Louisville, it was one of the better restaurants.
True. That's true story.
That's true. It's just a nice little steak place. But I didn't make plans at fifth quarter with the purpose of proposing. You know, the moment hit, the ambiance was right, and the lighting hit her eyes at the right moment, and I grabbed the napkin and threw it down on the ground so I wouldn't mess up my trousers. You like that Mississippi word, trousers?
That was damn Mississippi.
That was good.
And you know, I proposed.
Definitely outside of Jackson for sure.
But I knew going in, when I purchased the ring, I knew that my future wife was ready to get married.
You know, I'm gonna say this. Now, I'm gonna let you gentlemen have it. I'm at my core, I am a believer in fighting for a person, whomever you say you love. I don't know what love looks like for you guys, but for those that marriages last 50 and 60 years, those marriages last long because they fight for one another.
Sometimes that's the key word.
Sometimes a person is not able to fight, Sometimes a person is such a fuck up, they don't fight. But you go through stages in life. Let me tell you something. There is no way you're gonna be married 60 years and you and your spouse equally fight for each other the entire time.
But that's not what we witnessed on that
but
video.
over a period of time, over a period of that relationship, it balances out.
Hold on a second, because I hear you on the wedding and the marriage, but how do you fight for somebody that won't even fight to get into marriage?
Yeah, you can't. She
didn't even fight to get into marriage.
That's tough. That's tough.
Yeah, she walked away before the fight began. She over there at the fight announcement. Don King is on the stage talking about we about to have this the brawl to settle it all, the Royal Rumble or whatever. And she's like, I don't want to go to boxing. I'm more into fashion.
You had the perfect video. You had the perfect video of that boxing match that we watched where the dude walked into the ring, bell rung, and he had walked his ass right back out.
And here's what's crazy about that video, Ron, because you're 1,000% correct. She knew she was going to walk away if he did something like that. That's why she turned to the little McDonald's worker and was like, I can't believe he did this. Go ahead, Mama Noise.
On the other hand.
Oh, there's the other hand. Okay.
We were present in a situation where it was intense, just like the situation at the McDonald's. It was a better environment, but it was intense like that, where everybody was to their feet and amen and the whole nine. And it was eloquent, the get down on your knees and all that. But she cold said, just stood there. It was like there was no, we like, is there an answer? Is there an answer? Are you going to give an answer? And it was like, she's standing there like, I can't believe this dude did this to me. He know where I stand. And some men will try to force a woman's hand by putting them in a position like that, thinking that, if I put her in, get her in a place like this, maybe, even though I know that that's not where our relationship's going, but maybe if I put her in a position like this, she'll change her mind. And I was rooting for the dude. We was all rooting for him. But man, when old girl was doing all that old, I was like, what is her problem? But see, she know what we didn't know. So,
and part of it is his fault, because you said it. Don't be asking if you don't know 100%. That in the moment you ask, you getting the yes.
And see, that was one of the comments on the thread. Was that it appeared he was backing her into a corner. Mm-hmm. He was pressing her, and he thought that in that moment, with all those eyes and all of that support, she would be forced to say yes. That could very well be the case. He knew that she was teetering on the fence, and maybe he thought, well, if I get her in a public forum, she'd be more inclined to say yes.
Who can resist McDonald's French fries and a proposal? Who can do
it? You give me a French fries, I am saying yes.
What?
And if the ice cream machine works, it's a hell yes. Let's go right down to the justice of peace.
There you go.
You know what? First of all, the whole having it a big publicity stunt is overrated. I think that, for me, it's almost like the asking part, that should be more of an intimate situation instead of it being some type of public spectacle. Because if you do get your face cracked in on the ground, whose fault is it? Because you done made this a big event. And like Al said, you should know your person enough to know if this is something that they want. But trying to force them into a corner, that's just unacceptable. I mean, I didn't. When Lloyd asked me to marry him, he didn't do it at a stadium. He didn't do it in front of the church.
Did he coin the phrase "piss or get off the pot"?
I did not.
No. No, he did not.
Either piss or get off the pot.
He didn't do any of that. And I was sitting there going, let me check the environment. Hold on, where's the paparazzi? I mean, come on.
Should a proposal go down in a massively public way like that?
Who is the proposal or promise really for? Who really needs it? Who really wants it?
Obviously the being the proposee needs it, but at the same time, I'm just wondering.
And see, I think that is part of the problem is people want to be gosh, what's the word? People want to be not really appreciated. That's not the right word, but they want people to see that big moment. They want affirmation of their relationship or their status. That and you know, I've seen stories where women were completely offended by the size of the ring, and that was the reason they rejected the proposal. Or I've seen stories where women took the ring, exchanged it for what they wanted at a much higher cost and much greater value, simply because they were fearful of what people would think.
Which is kind of why I asked that question: is who is it really for? Because a lot of times, like Al said, a lot of times it's just show.
Well, I'm an anomaly because I accepted my proposal and I didn't even have a ring, and I felt that whether I had one or not, there was no doubt in my mind that I would accept, and there was no, well, I'll accept it when you come back with a ring and all that old foolishness. That's foolishness to me. I knew who it was I'm supposed to be with. I knew Lloyd was my person. I didn't have any idea when he would propose, but when he did, I was excited to know that, man, he chose me. And so I don't understand all of this grandiose, this grandeur, all this stuff that we got to have because you don't have it at the wedding. So you got to have the proposal where, I mean, now stuff just keeps getting larger and larger, where you got to have, like some guys got to fly in the mama and the family to all meet at the place they first met at, and then they got to have somebody to hold the signs, and then they got to lead into the restaurant, and then it's got to be. It turns into an event where it's more than just a proposal, like Ron said. It's something else. It turns into some type of circus show.
And it's kind of funny because it's ridiculous, man. I mean, you're talking about putting on a show just so you can maybe get a yes.
Maybe, right?
Because if you don't put the show on right, she's going to say no.
I mean, come on.
But
the ring ain't right. Really? I mean,
you got to fight for her. So put the show together and do it right, and then you'll get the woman.
Because I can't get a redo on that show. Shit, I respect
you're gonna have to. If she says no, you have to do a sequel.
Wow, a sequel proposal.
Well, I'm really trying to wrap my head around what you mean by fight for them prior to. Like in the marriage, I totally get it. That's not lost on me. But if a woman walks away like she did, how do you come back from that? That's the part I'm trying to. You said he should still keep fighting for it. And I'm like,
well, he's saying the woman you love, regardless if you're married or not. If that's the woman you love, then that one instance should not define your destiny. I think that's what he's saying. At least that's my interpretation.
But it did just define your destiny. Like
not necessarily.
She walked away and was like, nigga, please.
There can still be conversations after that.
They can reconcile.
Hey, I poured my heart out to you. Is this not what you want? And then her response can be, you're who I want, but it's not the right time, or that's not how I want it, or I have no desire to get married. Whatever. There could still be conversation.
So if she says,
which one of them three you just said, Al, but what make you want to do a sequel? of the three.
That's where I was going, Ryan. Like if she says, nigga, if you had to